Here are a few examples of how you can factor trinomials using the method called divide and slide. You'll probably remember how to factor trinomials where the leading coefficient is equal to 1. For example, x squared minus 29x plus 120. You need to find two numbers whose product is 120 and whose sum is negative 29. Now something that you should notice is that the product is a positive number and the sum is negative. Since the product is positive, that means that the two numbers have to have the same sign. And since the sum is negative, that tells us that they're both negative. Okay, so let's fill out possibilities. We'll start off with 1 times something. 120 is 1 times 120. Obviously the sum of those two numbers is not negative 29. 2 times 60? No. 3 times 40? That gives us 43 as our sum. 4 times 30? That's 34. We're getting closer to 29. 5 times 24? There's 29. But remember we said that both numbers were getting negative, so that'll be a negative 5 and a negative 24. That means that our original trinomial is going to factor as x minus 5 times x minus 24. Now it's probably worthwhile to check the answer, so let's FOIL it out just to be sure. X times x is x squared. X times negative 24 is negative 24x. For the inner, negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times negative 24 is positive 120. When you add that, that's x squared minus 29x plus 120. So it checks. Let's look at the divide and slide method. The divide and slide method is especially useful when the leading coefficient is not equal to 1. Here's an example. 3x squared plus 17x plus 10. Start by multiplying the leading coefficient times the constant term. Here, 3 times 10 is 30. The middle term has a coefficient of positive 17. And again, we're going to look for two numbers whose product is positive 30 and whose sum is positive 17. The 30 is positive, so that means the two numbers have to have the same sign. The sum is also positive, so we know that the answers are both going to be positive. Okay. Once again, let's be methodical, starting off 1 times something. That'll be 1 times 30. The sum of those is 31. 2 times 15. The sum is 17, and we found the numbers already. So answers are positive 2 and positive 15. Look carefully, the next part is divide and slide. Set up your parentheses once again as x plus 2 times x plus 15. Now obviously that's not going to be the correct answer, because the first term would be x times x, which is x squared, so that doesn't match. The next step is the divide step. You want to divide the 2 and the 15 by the leading coefficient 3. So this changes into 2/3, this changes into 15/3. And then you simplify as much as possible. So we have x plus 2/3, but over here, 15 over 3 reduces to 5. So x plus 5. After that, If you have any denominators left, you slide them so that they become coefficients of the x's. And this is the slide step. So our factored form is 3x plus 2 times x plus 5. Now you might not believe this works, so let's check it before we box our answer. The product of first is 3x squared. The outer is 15x. The inner is 2x. And the last is 10. And if we add those up, 3x squared plus 17x plus 10. And it worked. So this is the correct answer. Let's look at one more example. This one will be a little bit more difficult. This one is going to be 15x squared minus 11x minus 12. Let me throw in a few more details. The first step actually is going to be to make sure there's no GCF, no greatest common factor. If there were, you would need to figure that out on the first step. There is no common factor to 15, negative 11, and negative 12. Okay. The next step is going to be to multiply 15 times negative 12. So 15 times negative 12 is negative 180. So that we're going to be looking for two numbers whose product is negative 180. And the sum of those two numbers will have to be this negative 11. Now this time, the product is negative. So that means that the two numbers will have different signs. So when we add the two numbers, we're going to be adding a positive and a negative. So we'll actually be looking for the difference of the two numbers. So let's start looking. It could be 1 times 180. It's 181. That's far off. We can see that we're going to have to go way down the list. 2 times 90. Nope. 3 times 60. That's 63. Still far away. 4 times 45. That's 49. Still far away. 5 times 36. That's 41. Nope. 6 times 20, that's 26, getting warmer. 7 times, 7 doesn't go into 180 evenly. 8 times, 8 doesn't go into 180 evenly either. How about 9 times? 9 times 20?